to Joy News Interactive with me, Mapita CBD. We're coming to you live from the Ghana Post GPS digital address GA093341 at Kokomemle in Accra. For a first-class seat on the interactive train, you can catch us on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. We are Joy News on TV. So we're only on the second day of 2018, so it's still a good time to reflect and think about some of the things that happened in 2017. Let's talk about scandals. Scandals can shame or shape you. So what were some of the biggest scandals that shaped or shamed Ghana in 2017? I'm going to take your comments on Facebook, but first let's read something from My Joy Online. So we're going to go to My Joy Online first before we go to Facebook. And we're going to take your comments there. So here's the article on My Joy Online, and it says scandals that shaped or shamed Ghana in 2017. So let's see some of these scandals. In January, it was the plagiarized inaugural speech. So the president's inaugural speech was hailed as the best any incoming leader has delivered since 1992. And it said, I ask you to be citizens. Citizens, not spectators. Citizens, not subjects. Responsible citizens building your communities and our nation. All right, let's see if we can go up on that. Let's go to February, to some of those scandals. It was the PRC, questionable transactions. Let's go up. So these are just a wrap of some of the scandals that made it in 2017. And we go to March. The Delta Force raided Kumasi Circuit Court. So it says pro-NPP vigilante groups. Delta Force raided a Kumasi Circuit Court and freed 13 suspects standing trial for the assault of Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator. Okay, and then let's see if we can go to April, where the 4 MPs were blacklisted from entering into the UK. And let's go to some of the other months. So you can go to My Joy Online to see that article in May. Okay, we've got to that in May. Let's see if we can get more of the months. In June, the botched sale of contaminated oil got Akufo-Addo's government very, very busy. So the intervention of the Energy Ministry and NPA saw the withdrawal of the oil from the market. Let's see if we can get more of those. And we've got July there. You can go to My Joy Online and read some of those. In August, A+ attempts to smear allegations on the 2 deputy chiefs of staff. Deputy Agriculture Minister William Kwaito was forced to resign after he called Northerners liars. And then Deputy Agriculture Minister William Kwaito resigned after he was accused of making ethnic comments against people from the north. And there on your screen you can see the defiled 4-year-old. And that happened in September, where a 4-year-old girl allegedly raped in Central Region. A 4-year-old girl was allegedly defiled by a member of her community at Asin Adidentam in the Central Region. The story sparked national outrage. Let's see if we can get more of those. And in October, Ghana's High Commissioner to South Africa, George Ayisi Boateng, says he will prioritize needs of NPP members first. So you can go to My Joy Online to read more of those. We'll be taking your Facebook comments soon. So those were some interesting scandals that happened in 2017. So did they shape or did they shame Ghana? Let's ask you. We'll ask you on Facebook and let's see what you guys said. Prosper Anthony says, what happened in 2017 remains there. Well, Prosper, we need to, look back, reflect so that we don't repeat the same mistakes of yesterday. And Charles says, I'm just passing. Your biggest shame is the day I discovered that Shatta Wale is Ghanaian. All right, let's see. There's 4 replies. Let's see if we can get those replies on Charles's comment. The 4 replies on Charles's comment. And okay, so Joe Keller comes into insult Charles. And Ma Adra says, and Broski is a Nigerian. All right, let's go to Eric James, who says, the day our president plagiarized former American president's speech, which was featured around the worldwide news. And Apia Kwesi says, after Gaddafi's brutal death, Ghana accepted Obama's request to keep Al-Qaeda prisoners because holy Americans don't need them on their soil. And Daniel comes in to says, Watcher Ajako, appointment bribe, Flagstaff $1 million Gates fee, Trade Ministry sitting close to the president, and the A+ and CID daughter tape saga. And there's still more to come. And Yusuf comes in to say, the massive corruption that has engulfed Nana Addo's government in just 1 year, and the arrogance of his appointees. Nana Kwame comes to say, the day Black Beauty. Oh, okay, we won't read that comment. Adam says, $8 billion for websites and $20,000 bribe paid as bribes before seeing our president. So those are your comments on the biggest scandals. Did they shame Ghana? Justice comes in to says how the late Maxwell Mahama was killed in daylight. And Frederick says that Chichinga Sala caused the fire saga. And Razak says, we want to take Razak's comment. Thank you for your comment, Razak. And Kobe Mensah says, Ghana unable to qualify for 2018 World Cup. And George Yao says, the most corrupt guy in Ghana, Jospong, CEO. So those are your comments on the scandals that shaped 2017. Did they shape Ghana? Did they shame Ghana? So you can go to Joy News on TV, on Facebook and Twitter. So President Nana Akufo-Addo has expressed his 2018 resolve to quicken the pace at which his government delivers on its 2016 electoral promises. He said, 2017, I was a man in a hurry, but in 2018, we are coming with a supersonic speed. He said this during a visit to the technology exhibition organized by Christo Asafo. So I want to know, what are your thoughts? Last year, he was a man in a hurry, but this year, supersonic speed. Let's take some of your Facebook comments. And Gilbert says, we know NPP very well. We know NPP very well with Vice President Baumea. How many factories have been built so far? How many constituencies have received their $1 million so far? How many villages have had their share of the One Village, One Dam? How many nurses have received their November and December 2017 allowances? Let's see, he got 4 replies there. Let's see if we can get interesting replies. And Joseph says, thank you for your take, bro. Valanya comes in and says, do you want government to use 12 months to implement all of these? Even Prophet Muhammad can't do it. It's just a matter of time. And Gilbert comes in to reply to Valanya and says, I just said how many? They can't even boast of one, despite all the initial timelines given during the campaign. Governance is different from campaigning. They should stop seeking refuge now. And Nana Kwesi says, Valanyo, don't be religious about his statement. And more comments on that, on the supersonic speed. And Seju says, he should begin to consider employing the services of the NDC before things become worse. We haven't seen our one dam, one village, one district, one factory, one constituency, $1 million. His vice president has not yet arrested the running fuel prices and electricity bill. Zongo Development Fund seems to have been forgotten. Health insurance is still in coma. Free SHS forcefully implemented for just first year's first term with countless problems. In fact, I can't mention all but few. They have to wake up from their sleep because 2020 is just by the corner. And Al Hassan says, it is said he still thinks he's on a campaign platform. He told us that he's a government in hurry, but he ended up wasting the whole of 2017. The only thing he could do was to embrace corruption and nepotism. And Aludu comes in to says, when you speed, you make a lot of mistakes and accidents on your way. So I don't think Ghana will be safe with this approach. We haven't even received our allowances as you promised, and you want to be at a supersonic speed again? I can't think far. Charles Darlington says, This man thinks he can play on intelligence whilst enriching his deep pockets. Akufo-Addo must stop playing with words. Next time he'll say that he's on Usain Bolt's speed, Abba. Okay, let's go up to Joseph's comment. So he says, supersonic speed or whatever. The truth of the matter is that he has the useless 110 ministers. They don't know anything apart from too much talking and insults. And Dre says, we wish you the best of luck, but I don't think your supersonic speed is possible with 110 ministers. Please downsize your government. We are the information age where ICT can be deployed to cut government expenditure. Hashtag Barack Obama ran his government from a BlackBerry phone. Don't forget that. Valana comes in to says, His Excellency Nana Addo can do it because of the measures he and his government have put in place. Nana, we dare your back. Happy New Year, His Excellency. Let's take two more comments from Nana Bafi, who says, with the likes of Hawa Kumsin and Baumia always talking about incompetence, he should just access himself. Mr. President, give us a break. He got 3 replies. Let's see if we can take those replies on Nana Bafi's comments. Valano comes in. Valano is very popular today on our page, and he says Baumia is far better than Amicia Arthur and his boss. Let me tell you. And Abu Bakar says Baumia is far better in lies and deceit as compared to Amicia Arthur. And Nana Bafi comes in to say we've gone beyond cheap politics. He said the CD was depreciating and the NDC were incompetent. But what has happened now? Has the CD stabilized or still depreciating? So those are your comments on Facebook. So we are on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 144. On Facebook and Twitter, we are Joy News on TV. We're going to take a quick breather. We'll be back with some more. Welcome back from that short breather. You're still watching Joy News Interactive with me, Mapisa CBD. Get interactive with us on Facebook and Twitter. We are Joy News on TV. You've been at home, sleeping in, waking up at your own time, watching movies, spring cleaning the house, eating everything in sight. But now reality has kicked in. You need to go back to work or to school. So we want to know, share some tips on your surviving your first day at work after the holidays. So let's go to Facebook where you shared your tips. First tip is from Bright, who says, after the holidays, I got to my farm and realized how the weeds are drying to attack fire. So I will borrow the president's supersonic speed. Valanyo comes in to says, very boring and the pocket is dried. Dear hostess, can you maybe I can't lend you some 50 Ghana CDs to pay back your if the moon dies? Not today. And Favor comes in to says, I'm still sleeping from the hangover. And Yao comes in to says, nothing new, just the bad weather interfering. And Abdul Philanthropist says, always boring, the day school is opened. And Maggie Mensa says, I feel refreshed in the new year. God, you are great. And Prince Nuruddin Baumir says, nothing much, just praises and thanks to Almighty Allah. And Kojo says, I'm feeling sleepy already. So those are your tips on how to survive your first day at work after the holidays.
Hi, baby. You should smile.
I want to suck them.
You wore that for me?
Some guy walked by me and whispered, I want to lick your.
Those are the kind of things that you hear.
The first time I got catcalled, I was in the 5th grade.
Maybe 13 or 12.
When I was 16, I went to a concert.
And that was, what, you're like 10 in 5th grade?
I was wearing a modest dress, obviously, but I was wearing heels.
There was somebody just following me back and forth. So the bus driver stopped in the middle of a big street and he opened up the door and he decided to harass me.
He kept following me and saying things under his breath right behind me. I tried to walk in the revolving doors and he stopped the revolving doors and grabbed my arm.
I rounded a corner and there was a group of about 8 men and I walked by them, but one of them grabbed me on the shoulder.
These are definitely situations that could quickly escalate into something more violent.
An older white man reached under my underwear and grabbed my just like Trump described himself doing.
What was kind of weird was no one was really coming to help me out. And it took me physically screaming for the security guards came out and, handcuffed him and everything with the police. But
it scared me so bad and my gut reaction was to be like, don't do that. And I went, don't touch me. But all the guys that were with him laughed.
I was so embarrassed and the bus was filled with people and they were just all looking at me.
Sometimes, if you didn't respond to a guy, they would throw something at you.
I told him to back the off, and he was like, ooh, you're feisty, you're a feisty one, you want this.
All of it hurts me, I think.
At this point, it's not a surprise. It's just kind of the standard.
You feel guilty walking away without saying anything because this was your responsibility to tell these men that they're sexually harassing you instead of it being their responsibility not to do it.
I just feel gross and ashamed and then also guilty.
It contributed to my choice of clothing, to the routes that I was taking, to the train or from the train, everything.
No one's gonna believe me. Everyone's gonna blame me. I feel like my body is just doesn't belong to me.
Do you want a new boyfriend?
Hey baby, hey girl.
Smile.
Keep taking it off.
But those are just words.
Those are just words.
Those are just words.
But those are just words.
But those are just words, right?
It is often said that no nation can rise to the heights of glory unless your women are side by side with you. Now my question is, how can women be by your side when they're being sexually harassed? Now more than 300 actresses, writers and directors have launched a project to help fight against sexual harassment in the film industry and other workplaces. The initiative, which is called Time's Up, was announced via a full-page advert printed in the New York Times. The Hollywood Project is described as a unified call for change from women in entertainment for women everywhere. It comes in the wake of sexual abuse allegations by high-profile actresses against film producer Harvey Weinstein. Now I'm asking you on Facebook, do we understand what sexual harassment is and how can we curb this menace? Both male and female. First comment is from Osafo Frimpong, who says, is it only women who are harassed? Well, I didn't ask that. I said, how can we work on it? He got one reply. Let's see if we can get an interesting reply there. And he says, John Corder says, most often, and I agree with him. And Kwesi Lawrence says, don't be biased. Men are sometimes sexually harassed, not only women. Don't let feminism blind your sense of judgment. We're not letting feminism judge our sense of judgment. We're just asking, how can we curb this menace? And this guy says, you should reread the post Joy FM posted. What we posted was that, how do we understand what sexual harassment is and how can we curb the menace? And you should reread, okay, and Gideon says, self-control is best for both gender because it is an emotional feeling that leads someone to act that way. And Kofi Amponson says, I recently got sexually harassed by a woman, but if you report it, they will insult and throw out the case. And Ose comes in to say again, all right, we won't take that comment. We won't take that comment. Let's move past. We're still taking your comments on what is sexual harassment and how we can curb this menace. We go to Jake Kim, who says sexual harassment is exposing sexual parts of your body and flirting around with the opposite sex. And we want to take Charles Darlington's comment. Let's go up. John Cordra says, my ladies, don't trust your opposite co-workers. They can also harass you sexually. And Selassie comes in to say, men and boys need to be educated to understand that when a woman or a young lady says no, it means no. And dating a girl under 18 years is a crime in Ghana. And Noel Ilkem says, we need to raise more awareness. Most folks don't know where to draw the line. I agree with you there. And Zuckerberg says, how about we, the guys, being sexually harassed? Like I said, how can men and women, both of us, work on it? And Salusi says the indecent way of dressing must stop. In 2018, I ask you to be citizens, citizens not spectators, citizens not subjects, responsible citizens, building your communities and our nation. And here's to fighting sexual harassment in 2018. You're watching Joy News Interactive with me, Mapisa CBD. Thank you for watching.